final Vader sequence is still absolutely magnificent. Right then, you Muppets, let's talk about Rogue One, the film that somehow managed to be Disney's least catastrophic attempt at milking the Star Wars cash cow. Having just subjected myself to the thing again after binge watching Andor, I can confirm what you probably already suspected. It's still a decent watch, despite being corporate fan service dressed up as a war movie. Let's be brutally honest about what this film actually is. An expensive apology letter for one of cinema's most glaring plot holes. For 40 odd years we've had to accept that the Empire's ultimate weapon had a convenient exhaust port that a farm boy could exploit with space magic. Rogue One exists purely to explain this away with daddy issues and imperial nepotism. It's elaborate damage control masquerading as necessary storytelling. And frankly, quite frankly indeed, the original explanation of imperial arrogance was perfectly fine without all this retrofitting nonsense. Credit where it's due though, this is one Disney Star Wars movie that doesn't treat its audience like sugar-addled 5-year-olds. Director Gareth Edwards actually remembered that rebellions involve people dying horribly, not cracking jokes while the galaxy burns around them. Looking at you, Ewan. The film opens with Cassian Andor executing an informant in cold blood, and it doesn't shy away from the moral complexities of resistance warfare. It's gritty, morally ambiguous, and refreshingly devoid of quip-heavy Marvel sensibilities. The tone is properly dark throughout. This is essentially Saving Private Ryan with X-Wings, and it works precisely because it commits to that vision. The heroes don't get miraculous last-minute saves. They die achieving their objectives, which is both narratively honest and emotionally devastating. Now, having watched Andor, which is hands down the best thing Disney has done with the franchise, Rogue One hits differently. The series transforms what was already a solid war film into something approaching genuine tragedy, seeing Cassian's journey from reluctant participant to committed rebel operative gives his death in Rogue One proper weight. However, and this is where things get messy, Andor also highlights some glaring inconsistencies in Rogue One's characterisation. The Cassian we see in the series is a far more nuanced, careful operative than the somewhat reckless figure in the movie. There are also memory glitches. Cassian claims he's never been imprisoned in Rogue One, despite his extensive prison experience in Andor, and his timeline of rebellion involvement doesn't quite match up. These aren't deal breakers, but they're irritating for anyone paying attention. The visual spectacle remains genuinely impressive. Space battles feel weighty and consequential. Ground combat in Scarif is properly intense, and the production design creates a lived-in universe that feels authentic rather than plastic. The final act, where our heroes systematically sacrifice themselves for the greater good, is genuinely moving. Performances are solid across the board. Diego Luna brings depth to Cassian. Mads Mikkelsen makes Galen Erso's moral complexity believable. And even K2SO manages to be amusing without undercutting the serious tone. The film succeeds in making you care about these doomed characters, which is no small achievement in a franchise increasingly populated by quip machines. And yes, the final Vader sequence is still absolutely magnificent. It's a perfect reminder of why Darth Vader was once genuinely terrifying rather than a meme generator. The image of rebels desperately trying to pass along the Death Star plans while Vader methodically butchers them is peak Star Wars horror. Rogue One remains a competent workmanlike film that does exactly what it says on the tin. It's essentially high quality filler. Unnecessary, but really well executed. The film succeeds because it doesn't try to be clever or subversive. It simply tells us a straightforward story about ordinary people doing extraordinary things before dying horribly for the cause. Is it essential viewing? Well, if you're a Star Wars buff, yes. Is it the best thing Disney's done with Star Wars in the movies? That's up for debate, but that's a bar so low, you'd need archaeological equipment to find it. After Andor, It feels slightly less sophisticated in its character work and political themes, but it remains a solid entry that respects both its source material and its audience's intelligence. A gritty war film that happens to have very few lightsabers in it. Sometimes that's just enough. It's competent corporate filmmaking that managed to remember that Star Wars can be about sacrifice and loss rather than endless merchandising opportunities. Not bad for a Disney, really. I'll give it 7 out of 10. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to go explain to my comments section exactly why James Gunn's Superman is shite. I'm great.
A grumpy Scot with a pint in hand, ripping through films like a one-man band. Snarky cinema where the burns are hot, honest reviews you'll never forgot. Oh hey oh, hey, let the truth be told. No sugar here, it's biting and bold. With smirk and a scowl and a hearty laugh, the grumpy Scot is here to riff your craft. Sequels gone wrong, he'll tear them apart all video long. But if it's a gem, he'll tip his hat. Rare moments when praise comes from this cat. From cringe remakes to sequels gone wrong, he'll tear them apart all video long. But if it's a gem, he'll tip his hat. Rare moments when praise comes from this cat. Snark so sharp, it'll cut through steel. Honesty that you can taste and feel. No fluff, no fuss, it's a Scottish creed. For brutal truth, the world does plead. Oh hey oh, hey, let the truth be told. No sugar here, it's biting and bold. With a smirk and a scowl and a hearty laugh, the grumpy Scot is here to riff your craft. So grab your popcorn and duck for cover. It's cinema chats with a twist to discover. Snarky Scot with reviews that sting, a brutally honest movie rating king.